Hey, Cowboy Nation, this Cowboys abroad. Let's get into some football talk. Um, let's get into some football talk. The talk of the town. Talk of the town, of course, is Robert Quinn. Robert Quinn has been suspended for 2 games. That seems to be the hot topic. Um, in Cowboy Nation, we really shouldn't too much worry about this. Shouldn't really too much worry about this. Mainly because this is unfortunately and sadly an annual event for the Cowboy Nation. And this is a sign. We got our suspension player. We thought it was Rico Gallis. We thought it was Rico Gallis, but we got rid of him. The NFL realized that we didn't have a suspended player on the roster. That was getting ready to play. So, they took care of us. They made sure we had our annual suspended player. What I mean by that? Well, you can see the headline. You can see the headlines for yourself, Cal. You can see the headlines for yourself, Cowboy Nation. Dallas Cowboys suspension. Dallas Cowboys suspension. 31 of the last 31 season. I mean, we have at least one player of the last 31 seasons that's facing a suspension going into the season. So this ain't nothing new for Cowboy. This ain't nothing new for Cowboy Nation. Robert Quinn is just the latest. It's just the latest of the crew. Yeah. And Jones a long-standing tradition, of Cowboys is on the suspension roster. Now, uh, it's Robert Quinn's situation is very interesting because he was suspended for PEDs, and generally in PED cases, he's suspended for 4 games. And immediately what I noticed is that he was suspended for 2 games, and so there was a situation there that there was at least some consideration in which he didn't get the full 4 games that normally come. Well, even testing positive one time for performance enhancing drugs. Um, so anyway, let's talk about his particular situation. Who's right? Who's right and who's wrong in this situation? Did Robert Quinn get the shaft? Was he screwed over by the NFL? Cowboy Nation, we accuse the NFL, and sometimes fairly, of screwing over our players. Now, did Robert Quinn get screwed over in this particular situation? Well, it don't look like here. No, when I'm looking at this headline, Robert Quinn's agent blasts NFL for decision to uphold Cowboys defensive end suspension. Well, it don't look like his agent is too happy about it. His agent seems rather disturbed by the issue. He seems to think that his client got a bad shake. The question is did he really? Um, and, Robert Quinn Robert Quinn was already going to be out the preseason, so he's going to have to miss a couple of games. And those couple of games means he misses 2 game checks. And that means that this particular suspension is going to cost him $941,000. That's just short of $1 million. Getting suspended in this situation, money and salary that Robert Quinn forfeits. So if he feels as though he's been wronged, I can understand why he would be a bit pissed off. If not for the game, so nearly $1 million for something that you feel as though you're not really guilty of. It's really a hard pill to swallow, and we as individuals can understand that, right? So he goes on here. Reading through the comments, and Robert Quinn's agent says that his client and his client basically took a substance that was on the steroid policy, the NFL steroid policy. Now, according to this, you can see if you look right here, it says that Quinn takes preventative medication for seizures. We know seizures is a medical situation. It's a medical situation usually sometimes characterized with epilepsy. But people have seizures, and they typically take medicine to prevent the onset of them uh, of those particular symptoms. And that is indeed a medical condition. And then there was this long drawn out policy. I'm not going to bother going. I'm not going to bother going to that. There's this long drawn out statement about the medical situation of Robert Quinn. Does that make a difference? I realize this is maybe not one of those, maybe not the most interesting topic, but Cowboy Nation, this is important. This is important. No, seriously, this is important. Please stay with me on this. What I want to do right now, just for everybody's sake, is I want to go to the NFL's policy on performance enhancing drugs. Performance enhancing drugs, and as you can see on the front page right here, as agreed by the Players Association and the Management Council for the NFL. This is the official policy that was taken off the NFL PA's website. So this is the policy that was agreed upon by the players. Right now, I want to draw your attention to just a couple things. Right, a couple things in this policy. This policy is 44 pages long. No, I'm not going to read it all verbatim. I'll be happy to provide you the link if you'd like to read it for yourself. Although I have already at one point in time posted this in Discord for everybody to read. But anyway, let's look real quick at the highlighted packages. I personally went through and highlighted this package. Players are responsible for what is put in their bodies, and positive tests will not be excused because a player was unaware that he was taking a prohibited substance. That's pretty clear. It doesn't really matter to the NFL whether you knew or didn't know that you were taking this particular substance. Dietary supplements should be directed to an independent administrator, right? So that is the first thing. Now, this independent administrator will come back up in just a moment. There are particular cases when you have medical situations and illnesses. There are cases where you are, in fact, can be granted an exception to the policy, right? According to this right here, let's look at what's in blue. The NFL recognizes that within a list of prohibited substances, there are medications that are appropriate for the treatment of specific medical conditions. For athletes who require the use of a prohibited substance to treat an appropriately diagnosed medical problem, a therapeutic medical use exemption may be requested. In reviewing a TEU request, independent administrator of the NFL policy on performance enhancing drugs have the sole. I want to point this out right here. They have the sole discretion, to require medical evidence beyond that's normally necessary to initiate treatment by the medical condition. All right, and they may be granted by the independent administrator. Right now, you have to meet a couple of conditions here in yellow. Obviously, the medication must be necessary for the treatment of the problem. But then again, the other things is that you have to have tried other alternatives, and this is the effective. This is one of the effective one, and other alternatives don't work, of course. And then, you got to be able to say that um, medications that aren't on the list, of substances not approved, are not working out. So you got to be able to do that, right? But then I want everybody in Cowboy Nation uh, to recognize this point right here. The applicant may not begin use of a prohibited substance until after the TU is granted. Say that again. The application may not begin the use of a prohibited substance until after the TU is granted. And so, if you have to take medicine, you have to take medicine for a medical condition, will it be for seizures in Robert Quinn's case, or or fertility is in the case of Golden Tate. You can't do it retroactively. You can't do it after the fact. You have to uh, prove that you need it. Something else won't provide the solution that you need, and get a waiver for these and get a waiver exemption for these things. And you have to do it before you take the substance. You can't test positive for a substance and then try to retroactively get approval uh, for um, some type of medication that you took. It just doesn't work out that way. And whether you know or don't know, uh, it is a banned substance, so that you took it or not took it is irrelevant according to the policy. Um, as we read through this thing, and I'd like to also point your attention to what's in blue here. The TU exemption may be granted retroactively only in emergency use of a prohibited substance necessary to avoid morbidity, uh, morbidity, or morality of disease or disorder. Right. So basically, what that's saying is, um, it's not designed to be granted retroactively, and only in an emergency situation. Now, in the case of Robert Quinn, if I remember correctly, it says right here, Quinn takes preventative medication for seizures. Preventative. What that means is, we're not in an emergency type situation. We're taking preventative medicine, and we're taking medicine that we haven't checked out and deemed to be appropriate for use. Is for a veteran that's been around the league for as long as Robert Quinn have, and with the kind of reputation he have. Um, to say you're not aware of this, is really just don't float. Really, to tell you the truth, I'm afraid that Robert Quinn in this situation has at least some responsibility in his own problems. You know, and I would say that the NFL could have according to the policy, could have very easily given him 4 games, but they gave him 2. And so even though he was clearly had some liability in this situation, the NFL took that into consideration and only suspended him a couple games for his part. If nothing else, Robert Quinn unfortunately failed to report the substances that he was taking and get them cleared by the independent administrator, by the independent administrator, and be good to go. As you can see in the policy, if you see in the policy, they even got the number written right there in the policy. So if you have any questions about any medication or any substance that you're using, or any they call those things supplements. If you have any supplements that you're taking, all that kind of stuff should be cleared prior to taking. in the policy, and I'll just show you that in the policy they also got the specific substances that are listed right here in the, that are prohibited right here in the policy. You know, they have a list of them. I mean, so this is not new, not new. This is not new news. It's unfortunate. Do I think Robert? Do I think Robert Quinn did anything deliberately? Do I think Robert Quinn did anything deliberately? Um, I don't have any reason to believe that he. I don't have a reason to believe that he did. You know, based on reputation. I don't know the guy. The guy just got to our team. Just got to our team. You know, he's new, acquired guy. I'm only going by reputation, but as you can see right here, they got whole lists of medications and stimulants and masking agents and all kinds of stuff. Um, and so really, and it's right there in the policy. It's posted on the Players Union website. You know, so really, do you really have do you really have an excuse? No, you don't have an excuse. You don't have an excuse, and if you're caught up in this situation, I'm afraid you have a hard time getting out of it because the policy is pretty, in my mind, pretty clear, and it puts the liability squarely on the player. What do I mean by that? Well, let me just, I don't know. You read it. I mean, we can read it together. You know, I'm going to check it out one more time. It says right here in this line right here, players are responsible for what is in their bodies, and a positive test will not be excused because a player is unaware that he was taking a prohibited substance. Questions concerning dietary supplements should be directed to the independent administrator or the Players Association's director of drug policy, and it has a number listed right here in the policy for any questions. In this situation, is Robert Quinn. It's unfortunate for the Cowboys. Unfortunate for the Cowboys. Looking forward to day one for D Law and Robert Quinn to be getting after him, but we're going to have to wait a couple of games. But Robert Quinn don't really have in my mind, reading the policy, don't really have a leg to stand on in this particular situation. And his the one thing on a positive note that can come out of this though, it's not the worst of timing. Yeah, I know the season is just beginning, and all this kind of thing, and you know everybody's excited about day one, having our guys out there day one. But this is really this is a win-win for the Cowboys, right? It gives us an opportunity to open up another spot for one of our young guys, at least for a couple of weeks, you know, and then figure it out from there and see who's yelling, who's getting the job done, who ain't getting the job done when Robert Quinn comes back. The other is, and probably more importantly, is Robert Quinn did fracture his hand in training camp. Now he was going to play week one, but whether or not he would be 100% week one, you know, 100% week one after just recently having hand surgery, we don't know. We don't know. Having an extra couple of weeks to make sure that hand is healed properly is probably, a good thing. It's a good thing to have some extra time to get that hand healed the right way. We can hold it down for a couple. We can hold it down for a couple of games for Robert Quinn. He wasn't even on our roster last year, you know, and somebody will step up, you know, when we get through the first couple of games, and then he'll be back. Anyway, I've held you long enough. I hope that you can understand me clearly. I think this is an important topic because I keep seeing, and I'm sure you have seen quite a few situations where drug issues and players, and players trying to defend themselves, and having the appearance at the NFL is screwing these players over when it's written clearly in black and white on publicized policies that anybody can access at any time exactly what the policies are, what the procedures are, when the punishments are, and the whole nine. It's all public knowledge. Um, so if it's public knowledge to us, um, it should be crystal clear to the player what the rules and regulations are. They have agents for this particular reason to make sure that they are aware of what they're allowed to do, what they're not allowed to do, and what the rights are. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Uh, thank you for checking me out. Like, share, and subscribe. Do like, share, and subscribe, and all that good stuff. I appreciate your support. I'm out.